like I feel like there's some ground rules and regulations that I need to set in place for myself. You feel me? Before every episode, I want to kind of just have that conversation with myself on air, and I will leave it on the episode for the people to hear because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people are struggling with internal issues. We're gonna get into that amongst other things on this episode. But like I said, let's get back to these ground rules I have for myself in this episode, right? So no N word. I will go an entire episode and I will not use the N word. It is a derogatory term to my people and the plight of black people. We will not use the N word this episode, right? And if we slip up and say, obviously we'll edit it out, right? Because last episode I definitely missed like 20 edits, but we're gonna get into all of that and more on episode 17. Do I drop the biggie on them now? WILLMATICTV. Thanks for watching. You already know what it is. This is Everybody Can't Go podcast episode 17. Episode 17, man. The E.B.C.G. Let's get it. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I try not to even harp on the numbers of the podcast just for the simple fact that realistically, I ain't really dropped episode 1 yet. Right? I kind of been holding back with this whole podcast thing, right? And, I got my docket in front of me, making some revisions right now. We're going to get into some things. It's definitely January 13th, 2023. Let me take a gander at the docket real quick. The winter has been canceled. Let's start with the winter. What is going on right now? It is 54 degrees in New York City, mid-January. If you're from NY, you know, and if you wake up, you see 54 degrees in January, I'm pretty sure you had the same reaction I did. Any New Yorker knows that that is not normal New York temperatures. Understand that in the summer, 54 degrees is maybe like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the temperature on a summer night in New York City. You feel me? The fact that it's mid-January and we're in the 50s, I might go to the park after this podcast. Let me hurry up, actually, before the snow hit. I'm not sure if are we gonna get any snow this winter? We might actually do something that we've never done before. We might go a whole winter in New York City and not get any snow. We might not get a flurry of snow this winter. Fam, if you know, you know. Like I said, January, once you hit mid-January, January kind of is over with at this point, right? Then we got February. Obviously, February is the shortest month of the year because it's Black History Month, which is foul, right? But that's a whole nother topic, right? Do we need to discuss that, or do I need to say that for the February episode? What episode would that be? Let me see. Because I don't have a timeline for my, I kind of just drop when I'm inspired at this point. That might be episode 20 right there. Conceptually, the idea of a podcast, right? And I mean, if you know, you know, right? And realistically, it's kind of like, it's basically the way of the future, man. And for lack of a better way to say it, it's kind of just what's going to become the norm in the near, far future. At the end of the day, I feel like podcasts have the potential to, completely erase the impact of radio. Not the impact of radio, but the significance of radio, right? The impact of radio is what it is, right? And at the end of the day, I'm somebody who has been, heavily influenced by radio and basically just sitting in front of a radio just for the whole day, commercial, I basically, I enjoy and I appreciate what radio has done. However, what I'm saying is this: podcasting is it right now. This is the new wave, fam. And if you know, you know, right? And it's not even necessarily so much about, obviously, ultimately, people, you want to make a living doing what you're passionate about doing, because ultimately that's what they always say, right? Isn't that what they teach us? Isn't that what they preach? The good teachers and the good preachers, right? it's not so much about income and earning and making a dollar. It's more so about doing what it is that you're passionate about doing while simultaneously earning a living and doing, like, at the end of the day, if you just getting up to go do something that, basically has you coming home at the end of the day, you miserable, you mad. All I'm saying is this. I can understand how an individual could be unhappy in a work situation. Find your passion and working towards your passion. If that made any sense, right? I go off on tangents, right? Sometimes you gotta just hold on and go along for the ride, man. Everybody can't go though. So I definitely the fight. So Getvonta Tank Davis definitely just fought. I should know this guy's name. Hold on. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to be honest, man. And even when that fight was announced, I wasn't really, I wasn't that excited just for the simple fact. I know his last name is Garcia, right? But we already know. Listen, at the end of the day, he fought who he fought, right? The other fighter was obviously, a solid fighter. I believe he was undefeated as well. Hold on, man. Let me just go ahead and pull up that real quick. Getvonta Hector Garcia is the name of the fighter, right? So I didn't know anything about Hector Garcia, obviously, right? I had to pull up his name, right? My point is this. I feel like we're at a point now with Tank where, I feel like, he's now at a point in his career where he's in more control of, basically the decisions that he makes as a fighter, right? So now, from a fan's perspective, we looking at it like, so we're expecting to see you fight all of the fights that we've been basically demanding, which at the end of the day, we don't actually lace up the gloves and get in there and physically put our bodies, we ain't putting our health on the risk. We sitting home in the convenience, we at the bar, we having a good time. We just want to watch this fight at the end of the day, right? And enjoy a great fight night / fight weekend, right? And at the end of the day, these fighters get paid a lot of money to do these things. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of quid pro quo in that regard, right? My point is this. We want to see that Ryan Garcia fight, fam. And at the end of the day, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, the contracts have been signed on both sides. Both parties have come to a mutual agreement and a mutual understanding. Getvonta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. I'm not sure when the fight is. I believe it's going to be in April. I know that, we might as well have it next week then. Because at the end of the day, fam, we might not get snow, like I said, because it's 54 degrees in New York City in January. So if they trying to wait till April because, that's when the weather kind of get nicer and, that's when you get more people to come out, y'all might as well have a fight tomorrow, fam, is what I'm saying. We could really have it in January. But I think they're going to wait till April. At the end of the day, listen, it's a promoter boxing thing. Listen, they want to, they know what they're doing at the end of the day, right? It's chess. My point is this. He just came off of a big win. And at the end of the day, I have to apologize. That's what this is really about. This whole tangent is just me basically, taking my time to get to the apology that I absolutely owe Getvonta Tank Davis. So let me go ahead and get to it then. Getvonta Tank Davis, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And it is what it is. I spoke out of term. I spoke out of line many nights. I questioned your boxing skill, your boxing ability. Even up until recently, right before the fight, weeks before the fight, maybe a day before the fight, I was questioning his heart. I wasn't sure if the man had heart because I seen a clip, and I don't want to play the clip because I'm not that kind of podcast. We don't want to spread any gossip. It's not Shade Room. But I saw the clip of him, basically questioning if Ryan Garcia was on some type of steroid. And I'm not trying to say he's dodging fighters, but all I'm saying is this, man. This Ryan Garcia Tank fight, this is going to be the biggest fight of his career, and vice versa. this will be the biggest fight of the both of their careers. And I mean, I just couldn't be more excited to see it. You know, I feel like this will probably be one of his most, you know, his more challenging fights, just in the sense that stylistically, I don't think we've ever seen him in there with a guy who's as fast as Ryan Garcia, you know. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of boxing critics, a lot of analysts, you know, they're quick to point out, you know, the power that, you know, Tank has. And he definitely has power, even though he ain't get the knockout in this last fight, you know, which everybody pretty much expects him to go in there and knock out every fighter at this point. You know, once you get a couple of good, outstanding knockouts, it's kind of tough being a boxer. I'm not going to lie, man. Because it's similar to, you know, being an actor in that sense, where you could become typecast in a film, in a role, when you know, do a certain role and you do a really, really good job at it, basically, right? So if you go in there and you knock a guy over the ropes, basically, like, you're gonna always and forever be put into that, you know, that's always gonna be the bar and the expectation, basically, right? So rarely do you even hear people speak about Tank's boxing skill and his actual ability to box, you know. And like I said, I didn't see the last fight, but, you know, the few highlights that I did see, and then the fact that he got the win in the fashion that he got it, I just gotta take my hat off, man. He definitely knows what he's doing. He can definitely fight. He can definitely box. But at the end of the day, fam, I need to see that Ryan Garcia fight first before I can really put the stamp on it. I'm just talking about me personally. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. There's definitely a few other fighters, you know, whose names could be thrown into that conversation as well. Devin Haney, you know, that might be the only other fighter, really. That's the other one that, yeah, there's been some back and forth there. Like, I'm not really sure what's going on with boxing, man, but yeah, that's what's going on with Tank. Vince McMahon in the World Wrestling, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, you know, recently has been in the headlines. Well, I mean, honestly, for the past several years now, Vince McMahon, his name has been trending, you know, in several different stories that have been surfacing. I'm not going to necessarily, you know, like I said, this is not the Shade Room. I'm not a gossip, you know, platform. This is not kind of, you know, that's not the premise of my platform. You know, I'm not here to bash. I'm not here to judge. I'm just simply here to, you know, have conversation and, you know, create dialogue. So he actually returned to the company after taking a long hiatus. I'm not sure how long the hiatus was. I feel like it was about 2 years or so. You know, because of some allegations that were, you know, were alleged. So here's the tweet, right? Well, this is a tweet from Ariel Helwani stating that, contrary to the reports stating otherwise, last night there is no deal in place at this precise moment for the WWE to be sold to Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund or any entity, sources say. So, in other words, the organization is still exploring all options, and, you know, it's a developing story. Listen, man, at the end of the day, if he sell the company, more power to him, man. I just feel like, personally, you know, we have to not. I just feel like certain situations shouldn't overrule individuals' entire, you know, career and life's work, basically, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and act like Vince McMahon is like my hero, right? Or like my dad or some. Like, I'm not necessarily here to like take any bullets for Vince McMahon. And at the end of the day, whatever dirt Vince McMahon has done, Vince McMahon will have to answer to God at the end of the day. And that's really what I'm saying, for real. It's like, at the end of the day, why does do people not understand? I just feel like you could tell who and who doesn't believe in a higher power these days, man. Just by certain people's actions, man. Like, there is nothing that you can do that's greater than what God has planned for everybody, ultimately, right? Vince McMahon included. So my point is this. Let God handle that, man. I'm going to applaud what he's done from a career standpoint, because at the end of the day, we watch this man do something that we will never see that again. That business model is is outstanding, to say the least, right? And I don't have to agree with everything that this man has done personally in his personal life for me to, give a nod to what he's done in his career, man. And at the end of the day, like I said, I was a huge fan of this at one point in time. I mean, listen, that's a whole episode within itself. And just the trauma and just the lives I might have destroyed in the hallways in school. Fam, we was 3D'ing. I remember, I might have to tell one story. It was this one time, though. Where we took it too far. We did. And we planned this the whole day. I'm not going to say no names, but if you listen, I say all that to say this, man. We put our hands on the wrong female, right? This is before the cancel culture, obviously. Let's not try to bring that back up and get me canceled. I'm just trying to get off the ground here, guys. I'm telling you a story from junior high school. I'm not sure. I think we reconciled. It's not like we. Actually, nah, we didn't though, because I went that. All right. Anyway, so look, we definitely did something we wasn't supposed to do, and we got chased out of the schoolyard through the projects. Listen, man, it was a whole thing. It is what it is. I say all that to say this: Vince McMahon is a genius. Because none of that would have happened if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. And at the end of the day, you gotta be on some genius type stuff. Look at the emotion that he was invoking. They chased us through the projects, man, over some wrestling stuff. Golly, that's crazy, man. R.I.P. to Beck, man. R.I.P. to Beck. R.I.P. to Beck. R.I.P. to who else we got here on the R.I.P. list, man? I didn't want to start it off with the R.I.Ps like I did in the last episode, because like I said, man, when I listen to the playback, sometimes I cringe. Like I just don't like to start with the negativity. You know what I mean? I'm like, why did I start this off with that? I guess in my mind and my thinking is like, you get this out of the way and then you get to the good stuff. But yeah, man, it's never a good idea to start off a podcast and intro speaking about death. But at the end of the day, man, death is a part of life. And my podcast is a podcast that discusses life issues, right? So we have Beck, who's a legendary guitarist. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the biggest Beck fan, but I'm certainly a fan of music and great music. And at the end of the day, I've enjoyed Beck's music over the years. He has one song in particular though that when I seen the headline, it immediately drew me because I just knew the song from having the song in my library for so many years. And it's a song called Walls. And I mean, just the instrument. I mean, it's just a smorgasbord of instrumentation and just. I mean, it's an amazing record, man. He's super talented artist, legendary. Salute Beck. Who else? We got Lisa Marie Presley, who I don't really know. I'm not familiar. Obviously, this is the daughter of Elvis Presley, who's obviously like a global icon at this point. Unfortunately, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the biggest Elvis fan. As a matter of fact, at the end of the day, when people pass away, though, and that's the reason why I wrote her name down, because my initial reaction was I kind of brushed it off because of her last name, right? I seen Presley. I said, I don't like Elvis, so I don't care. But then I had to scroll back up, and I said, you know what? That's not right. It's not right to do that, because at the end of the day, I can be a victim of that. At the end of the day, it might be people who see my last name and might have an issue with that because of some shit that happened that I had nothing to do with. At the end of the day, you understand? So I don't want to be a hypocrite in that sense. R.I.P. Lisa Marie Presley as well, even though I'm not familiar with, really much of. I'm not even sure, was she a musician? I'm not sure if she actually did music. I'm not sure if she did reality TV. I'm not sure. I knew she was Elvis's daughter, though, and I know she passed away. I'm not even sure what her cause of death was at this point. Damar Hamlin. Man. What can I say, man? First of all, apologies, right? Because I completely botched this man's name on my last episode, and I'm not gonna hold you. It has to be one of the most cringy things I've ever done on anything that I've ever recorded, right? To listen to the playback of me completely botch this man's name while he was fighting for his life. This man fighting for his... I can't even get his name right. Damar Hamlin. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, At the end of the day, me botching his name is probably the least of his concerns right now. And, obviously we coming off of, the whole debacle and that whole situation, we don't want to relive the trauma. But obviously, he collapsed on the field and had a, was it a heart attack or a heart failure? Or, obviously his heart stopped on the field and, essentially he died on the field, man. And, the medical staff was quick. They rushed his aid. They saved this man's life. And I mean, all we've been hearing since then is reports of his improvement. And, the latest report that I've seen, it seems to be very, very hopeful. They basically, they transferred him over back to Buffalo. Obviously, they wanted him to come back home, see all that love, go back home with your family. So they transferred him back to Buffalo to the hospital, and when I heard that report, I said, oh, that's great. If they're comfortable with releasing him from the hospital, even though he's going to another hospital, it's still a good sign that he's, on the road to recovery. But then another report dropped like an hour later, and that, that he's been released from the hospital in Buffalo as well. So I'm not sure if he's home now. I'm assuming he's home now and completely cleared to play the Super Bowl, fam. I'm not sure what's about to happen. All I'm saying is this: we might be getting ready to see one of the most historic Super Bowls in history, fam. And I don't want to jump the gun here, and obviously, we want to put his health first, obviously, right? I'm being facetious, right? Obviously, his health is first, and we just happy that he's out of the hospital, and able to basically function on somewhat of a normal level, right? But what I'm saying is this, man. At the rate that he's progressing, I wouldn't be surprised if we turn that Super. I don't watch football. I will watch this football. I will watch the Super Bowl. If Damar Hamlin can somehow recover to the point where he can return back, is that even a possibility? I know the doctors were saying, basically, like we shouldn't even be thinking about that right now. Like we just trying to make sure he's breathing again. Well, if he's out of the hospital, I'm assuming he's breathing again, And I'm just saying, man, I'm just looking forward to seeing him getting back on the field at this point because I'm almost 100% positive that that's all he's thinking about right now. You feel me? And I mean that's pretty much all I have for Damar Hamlin, man. Just prayers and condolences once again, and apologies for botching his name. I was calling him Darren. I'm not. Listen, man. It is what it is. The algorithms, Instagram. It's just so many apps. I'm scrolling down. I'm looking at different articles and stuff. I seen Darren on something, and it is what it is, man. Salute to Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that the NFL doesn't, use this as an opportunity to basically, pander to any community again. And since I'm on football still, I feel like I guess it's only right that I give Rihanna a nod, because Rihanna is definitely getting ready, gearing up to do that Super Bowl performance, that halftime performance, I'm looking forward to that. I'm not gonna lie, and I actually forgot about it. They announced that shit like last year. Definitely forgot about that one. But now, that's right around the corner now, right? What's that, in February? When is the Super Bowl? Hey Siri, when is the Super Bowl?
One sec. Super Bowl 57 will be played on February 12th, 2023 at State Farm Stadium.
State Farm Stadium? February 12th? I'll be there for the halftime show, and then I'm getting out of there. And if Damar Hamlin is making an appearance, I'll be there for that. And then I'm getting out of there, man. And I'm taking the knee with Cap again, right? Because honestly, there's no reason. Like, I'm getting ready to get off the NFL, right? But is there any reason? There's no reason why Colin Kaepernick is not on the NFL team at this point, man. It's kind of just like, damn, y'all really just didn't give this man another opportunity to play the game of football again because he didn't want to, sing the national anthem, fam. It's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not even sure if he's still even interested in playing at this point. But I mean, from everything that I was hearing, he certainly was, And he certainly looked like he was interested to me. That motherfucker was going to practices and with the cameras, all types of shit. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. That was crazy just now. Is that what just happened? Oh nah, alright, cool. YouTube acting crazy again. So yeah, let's move down. Let's move down the docket now. Let's see. I'm flipping back and forth because like I said, I'm at a point now. I was making this point earlier, and then I left it. Basically, like how this is becoming more of a passion, and I definitely find myself jumping out of my sleep with topics, man. What topic did I jump out of my sleep to write on here? Let me hit you out with that one. Which one was it that got me out of bed? Like I had to struggle in the dark to find a pen, like the whole thing. That might have been The Winter Has Been Canceled. Was it that one? That could have been that one or the Getvonta one. I already talked about both of those. The Thuggish Ruggish Bomb. It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bomb. It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bomb. That verses was actually epic. And R.I.P. Gangsta Boo once again. That's still pretty fresh. Prayers and condolences to her family. Who I'm sure is devastated. 3-6. Hold your head. You already know. So Vince McMahon returned. I didn't even get all of my thoughts out about that whole. So yeah. So basically, they're in talks of selling the company, and also, in addition to that, let me turn this down a tad though, because I feel like I'm trying to talk over the instrumental, which is never good, right? I'm hearing reports that Stephanie McMahon, his daughter. No, this is the real story, and this is really what I wanted to get to. Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of Vince McMahon and longtime face, of the company, has stepped down from her duties and responsibilities as, I'm not sure if she was the CEO. She definitely had like a hot, listen, when you're the boss's daughter, obviously you up there, right? She stepped down from up there off of the, the whole operation, fam. She's no longer with the company. And this is days after the reports that her father, the man whose nuts you came out of at the end of the day, he came back and you left. So it's kind of like leaving me with like a little bad taste in my mouth, because I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I know family could be shady, right? This is what I know. But what I'm saying is this: when you've provided a whole company, how can you have any animosity or smoke in that case? Like, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, obviously money isn't everything, right? And I don't know what the inner workings of the relationship actually is, right? Because at the end of the day, one thing that we do know is things don't always appear to be, or things may appear to be a certain way, and it could be a completely different situation behind closed doors, right? So at the end of the day, I'm not sure what the relationship between Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon is, and there might be a very, very valid reason for her departure. I'm just saying, like, man, once again, I was a fan, and as a longtime fan, it's just something that I personally never thought I'd see, and more than likely, he did some wild shit. Is basically what I'm saying. Like, if you feel me, if you have a whole company just laid out for you, and realistically, how much years does Vince McMahon have to live? Like, I mean, respectfully, I'll knock on wood. I don't want to do that. But I'm just saying, like, obviously, at this point, it's kind of your company. I mean, you would think she would want to kind of stick around to, kind of keep that legacy going. But I mean, clearly she has other plans. I wish her the best. I wish Vince McMahon the best. I wish the company the best. Because at the end of the day, I might be gearing up to buy that shit. You never know. I might be one of the Saudi investors in the group. I might just be playing coy right now with y'all. You never know. You just never know these days, fam. You never know. You never know who's playing with the wires and the connection. You never know. You don't know who's creeping in your fucking backyard by your door. You just never know. And sometimes when you don't know, now you know. Boom, boom, boom. If that made any sense. Yeah, we're going to keep going down the docket. We're gonna keep going down the docket. RZA Islam has been canceled. Uh, Listen, man, this one was fresh. I wrote this one down like I think this was this morning. I wrote this night. That was last night. I seen this for sure. I forgot what I was watching, man, but it kind of struck me to see or to hear that RZA Islam, one of the most wholesome, humble dudes on the internet, has been banned and canceled from every internet algorithm. Like, you can't even, I'm not even sure if he's on Instagram. And like, they literally canceled RZA Islam from the internet, fam. That to me is absurd, just for the simple fact that, I have a whole timeline of, Gunna's whereabouts and 6ix9ine, and it's just like, bro, if we're gonna cancel anything, you understand what I'm saying? I just don't understand how we gauge the cancel. Like, what gauge does the cancel culture use to determine who we want to keep and who we want to get rid of, fam? That's all I'm really trying to say. This shit is crazy, right? Because there's a few people that, like, realistically, fam, the internet itself should be canceled. No, at this point, can we just cancel the whole internet? Y'all want to pick and choose who could be on the internet? That's what we doing? None of us should be on this shit, man. Think about it. I want y'all to really think about that. So, let me see what we got here, man. Damar Hamlin, we spoke about that. We gave our RIPs, RIP to everybody, and, obviously prayers to everybody around the world in general, We don't want to limit it to just celebrities, and, obviously we want to highlight what's happening, and that's what's relevant in the news. But, at the end of the day, my podcast, everybody can go to E.B.C.G. This is so much more than just a, entertainment-based platform. We don't only speak about current events. We speak about, life events and world events, anything that's going on, and anybody that has a struggle, right now. We want to send our prayers and prayers and condolences to everybody who's dealing with any type of struggle. Because at the end of the day, man, listen, realistically, and the title of the podcast, I feel like it's so appropriate, just for the simple fact that it's applicable to so many different things. You can't even play 2K no more. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, so for this one right here, 2K, man, NBA 2K. I'm not sure what we're doing. I'm not sure what the direction. Like, I'm not really sure what the vision is for the app, for the game, for the, I'm not really even sure like who I can direct this message to, because at the end of the day, I've tried to tweet. I've tried to, I've contacted support. I hit the little complain button on the thing. I've done it all. And quite frankly, I feel like all of my cries are falling on deaf ears. This game is getting worse and worse by the hour, fam. This is absolutely. I was in the wreck yesterday, man. I mean, what can I mean, it's literally unplayable at this point. The 2K rec is completely unplayable. I can't go in there with my player and just like level up anymore. Like, I remember it was a point in time you could go in there with even with randoms and kind of like, you feel me, like get a good game and get a good run. Now it's like every game dudes in there talking about telling your mama jokes and they cursing you. It's a bunch of weird people, because I'm not cursing anymore, right? I did a really, really good job, and I'm glad, because I'm not gonna have to do that much editing on this episode. I feel like I might not have to make I might have 2 edits to make on this episode, right? And I'm very, very happy about that, right? Because that means I could get it out to y'all much faster. Because at the end of the day, it's all about timing, right? So yeah, man, 2K, man. I'm just at a point now where I'm kind of like over it, man. I low key, I've said this many times in the past, and I kind of just said it and never really like was serious. I may never buy this game again, fam. Like, I literally feel like this might be the last year. This might be my last year. So I guess what I'm saying for real is, I'm announcing my retirement from NBA 2K, man. I can't do it anymore. It's too much, bro. The grind, the build, the player. I did all of this grinding for what, bro? So I could be sitting in there arguing back and forth with some loser, bro, that can't play basketball? Like, where are the hoopers, bro? There needs to be, there has to be a way that we can get. We got all this NFT stuff, all this meta stuff and virtual reality. Can we do it so that, like, basically when you go buy the game, when you actually physically go to, you have, this should be, I'm struggling with what I'm trying to say here. Let me drink some water. It needs to be stipulations. When you go purchase the game, you should have to physically go through a whole obstacle course, fam. If you are not on a certain physical level, if you don't have a certain, and then there should be a written test followed up, right? You need to take a written test and a physical to get this game, fam. And if you can't display the basic functionalities of an average basketball player, I'm not even talking about LeBron level stuff. I'm talking about just the basics, man. These is inbounding the ball from full court, inbounding from, bro, the game is not meant to just be played one way, and that's really what I'm trying to say. Like, it's become a thing now where it's like there's like a formula on how to win, as opposed to you coming into the rec. Like, when I go to the rec, I don't know who's gonna be in there, so realistically, you don't know what game you're gonna have until you actually get there, get on the court. You gotta, sometimes you don't know what he about to do, so you gotta kind of figure it out, is what I'm saying. There's no more figuring it out, fam. They don't want to figure it out anymore. They want to go in there and do the same thing they did the last game, and if that don't work, then the whole game is going to shit, fam. They throwing it out of bounds. They shooting from half court. It is a shit show. And I said I wasn't gonna curse this episode, but god damn it, Ronnie 2K, this is bullshit. And that was my tangent about 2K. And I'm gonna tag him in this, and I'm pretty sure he's not gonna care. But at the end of the day, man, listen. When NBA Live makes a resurgence, and everybody go back over there, you feel me? Because at the end of the day, I was team NBA Live for a long time. I'm not gonna hold you. And it's actually crazy that I'm like even playing 2K now, because there was a point in time where I was like anti 2K. I used to like laugh at the 2K players, like, why y'all play this big doofy digital player? It just used to look doofy to me. Like, I felt like NBA Live had a more just a defined, just a good, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I have like an attachment to NBA Live just for the simple fact that I have a memory that's attached to a night when I purchased NBA Live 09, and that was basically the horror story that I told y'all about me getting, hands and feet put on me in Yonkers on that abandoned street over there. Yeah. You can go ahead and go back to episode, that's like episode 4. I might have to retell. Yeah, that could be a redo right there, low key, because I didn't really get all of it is what it is, man. Shout out to Yonkers. Yonkers stand up. DDG versus Fredo, man. What's up, man? I'm more familiar with DDG because, like I said, I've been kind of, paying attention to just what he's doing from a brand perspective, right? That's kind of my way to like when I'm trying to just escape reality and shit. The DDG blogs definitely will help you escape reality, fam. You know what I'm saying? They just over there basically having the time of their lives most of the time. They over there fighting, boxing, hooping, snowboarding. It's just almost like, fam, it just seems like he's just having the time of his life. You know what I'm saying? When in all reality, he's working. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, I'm learning that too. And if you're trying to learn a little something about the YouTube game and, just the whole, what is it, ads and fucking ad revenue and all that shit, it's a lot of that, you can get some of that game watching the DDG plugs. I'm not going to hold you. Every now and then you're going to get a gem over there. Pretty Boy Fredo, I'm not so familiar with. You know what I'm saying? All I know is that they got some little back and forth going on. I've been kind of somewhat tuned into it. All I'm saying is this, man. Knuckle up, man. Lace up, put the gloves on, and let's get to it, fam. That will be one of the biggest fights possibly in pay-per-view history, fam. I just feel like if they go about it the right way, because right now, as of right now, I don't feel like they're going about it the right way. I don't. We know y'all have an issue. We know y'all have a beef, right? Now it's time to market it into the fight, fam. It doesn't seem like there's any real interest there. I feel like they trying to carry it like they really two professional fighters, fam. At the end of the day, y'all do YouTube videos, fam. This is not a career-ending situation, realistically. If DDG goes in there and loses, or if Pretty Boy, or vice versa, because at the end of the day, I need to stop calling another man Pretty Boy. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm doing it for the sake of the content, and I know he has his fans and his fan base. So we want to use the correct, you know what I'm saying, what he goes by. But at the end of the day, yeah, Fredo and DDG. At the end of the day, man, I don't really see how any one of them have anything to lose. You know, win or lose in this situation. I feel like y'all have more to gain than to lose, personally. You feel me? Just from a brand perspective. If y'all go about promoting this shit the right way. That's just my opinion. You feel me? Yay off the grid. So what's going on with Yay, man? I'm hearing things, man. Is Ye getting secretly married off the grid somewhere on a private island? What's going on with my boy Ye, man? Because at the end of the day, that's still my boy, man. I know. We all follow what the internet says, and we supposed to all cancel somebody when they say they cancel somebody. But check this out, man. I feel like Kanye's music has been in more rotation since this whole debacle has happened. I'm just talking about on my side of things. Personally, fam, the music been slapping even more. And realistically, bro, when you go back and you really listen to a lot of the, even like Flashing Lights, I was listening to the other day, and he on there talking about Nazis and Germans on Flashing Lights, man. Like, fam, it's actually kind of crazy that he's been really saying this stuff the whole time. Y'all just caught on, you feel me? But I'm hearing reports that Ye, you know, having some type of secret marriage. I'm not really sure what, you know, that's pretty much all I read. I didn't really look into it to confirm. All I can really say there is, you know, congratulations. I'm glad to see that, man. I'm absolutely elated to hear that he has found love, you know, through all of his trials and tribulations. And at the end of the day, if Kim Kardashian could go run off and go date Pete Davidson and have the kids all on his lap and all this other stuff, like, I don't see there wouldn't be any issue with him getting married, right? You know the internet gonna find something though. They always gonna find something there. But you can't. He probably brainwashed her, or they gonna say he drugged the girl or something crazy. He's getting ready to listen, man. Congratulations to Kanye West. Yay. Pardon himself. He's made a man. He changed his name to Ye. Legally, he is Ye now. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Ye. Right? If this is actually a true report. Speaking of marriage, is it safe to say that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have become the new Mrs. and Mr. Will Smith? Like, at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. I feel like I see Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's names in the like, I feel like I see their names damn near on the Shade Room every single day, fam. If it's not about, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to be disrespectful, but, you know, obviously they have a daughter, you know, that they're raising, and it's always, you know, it just seems a real they just seem like a really, really over the top, you know, beautiful family at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, is it safe to say that they have replaced Will and Jada as far as the couple that everybody kind of just picks at and always has an issue with, and always is just like, it's almost like it's too picture perfect, right? Well, to some people, it's not so picture perfect at all, you know, and there's a lot of people who actually take umbrage with D Wade and Gabrielle Union and their whole family, and that's a whole nother conversation that we will not have on episode 17, right? That's the other Matrix episode. That's yeah. Benjamin's baby. I feel like I'm out of my topics as I'm looking at my docket. About to stop it, but look, before I go, let me say a couple things. It's just something about knowing that people want me to fail. not even, let me not make it specific to me, right? Because at the end of the day, this is the people's podcast. This is for me first, obviously, right? This is me venting, and this is basically my platform. But at the end of the day, it's my platform that I'm sharing with the people. So let me just get this last topic, I guess, off. You know, this might be the last topic on the docket right here. It's just something about knowing that there are people out there that want you to fail. I don't know if it's just me, but personally, it's probably the number one thing that drives me at this point. I know y'all want me to fail. And realistically, fam, the illest part about that is 9 times out of 10, those are usually the people who will appear to look like they're in your corner. And I mean, listen, man, you know, the Matrix, you know, I feel like we all have a matrix that we're dealing with. Yeah. And I feel like we could ride off into the sunset on that right there. We got an hour and 7 minutes in right now. I'm about to chop this bitch down. When I hit it with the edit, upload it to SoundCloud, maybe Reddit, maybe dead it. Maybe I ain't never said it, but that's an exit. The Matrix. Exit the Matrix. Face this. Uh, 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 What's this? Lil Sims performing. I love Lil Sims so much, man. I feel like I gotta end every episode with that now. I've just been in we getting ready to end here, you know. Tornadoes tear through the South. Prayers to the people in the South, you know. That this is a real time breaking news. Hold on, this is the first ever.
The deadly tornado outbreak across the South, with dozens of twisters leaving a trail of destruction. Senior national correspondent Steve Osasami is in Alabama with the latest. Good morning,
Alabama.
Steve.
You know, prayers to the
Good
people
morning,
in Alabama. You know, prayers to the people all over the world. Tornadoes, lions, tigers, bears. Listen, man. Listen, man. We only here for a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Make the best of this shit. And try not to be just a spiteful person, man. I just feel like if you're waking up every day, man, if you're waking up every day, I just, prayers for y'all too at the end of the day. Because I honestly don't know what it entails and what type of demons you could possibly be having, and when you're waking up every day just with harboring just negativity for another person who at the end of the day, basically, I'm trying to avoid making this too specific, but realistically, man, I had to come to a realization, in between each episode, you know, I just love the fact that I'm always gonna have a different, episode, just for the simple fact that life is happening, man, and I'm just able to kind of pick apart from, real life things, and as well as other things that I see other people going through, man. And realistically, man, at the end of the day, man, I can't even stress this enough. I am beyond blessed, man. I'm at a point now where I'm just at a different level of understanding and a different level of just my expectation levels have changed drastically. There's a lot of things that I used to look forward to that, like, basically was my whole entire existence, but it revolved around these things. And I mean, listen, man, I had to just kind of figure out what works best for me. It's still a work in progress. Obviously, success is not a destination; it's a journey. But we have to acknowledge the fact that there are people who will, basically try to slow you up on that journey, right? And those are usually the people who have come to the end of their journey. And I just want to say to the people, out there that's going through a situation where you might be struggling to find the answers, like, what? I can't make sense of this right now. I don't understand why me. Check this out, fam. You still got your health. You still got the opportunity to, basically. And it's so cliche, but at the end of the day, realistically, man, you're blessed. You're blessed. Stop trying to make sense of situations that don't make sense. It's 2023. We're not doing that no more. I have the solution to every problem that is in my life. And that's the only perspective that I have going forward. I don't really care. I don't want to make sense of things anymore. Whatever hurdle's there, I'm clearing the hurdle, fam. And I'll try to make sense of it one day down the line. But realistically, fam, we don't really have that much time. Come on, man. I'm rapping over big. I'm giving y'all balls over juicy. Come on, man. WILLMATRC. It's episode 17, man. You know, exit the Matrix. The Matrix. The Matrix. Because it's a lot of tricks. It's a lot of tricks out here, man. You just gotta, you gotta just be Morpheus in the situation, man. Or Neo. You feel me? Are you Neo or are you the ops, though? Huh? I'm not even sure. What was the other guy's name? Chester or some weird shit? The bald dude that was a hater? How you gonna kill somebody in their sleep? Think about that. He waited till Neo was asleep to kill him. That's the Matrix. You feel me? They killing you in your sleep, dog. They don't even wanna wanna get you while you awake. They wait until you're not even able to defend it. They wanna hit you when you can't even see it coming, man. That's the Matrix, dog. This is the Everybody Can't Go podcast. This was episode 17. I said that already. It's 4:44 p.m. on the dot, by the way. I'm getting ready to end it, if you didn't know. And if you didn't know, now you know. Willmatic. Till next time.